Welcome to The Deep Dive. We unpack complex topics, fascinating stories, and try to pull out the most important insights for you. Today, we're doing something a bit different, actually. We're looking at a really chilling personal account. It's a transcript from a YouTube channel detailing a real-life supernatural encounter. So what we have is this very detailed narrative. It's told by the person who went through it, directly with her friends. Our mission today is, to walk through this story, understand the sequence of events, and really think about what makes it so potent, so unsettling. It feels like more than just a ghost story, doesn't it? Almost like a case study. Perception, grief, the unexplained.
It really is an intriguing case. It's such a vivid first-hand account, you see. And the events described, they just profoundly challenge our usual understanding of things. It's packed with these specific details that seem, hard to explain logically, at first glance anyway. We'll follow the timeline, exactly what happened, and see how these strange occurrences unfolded for everyone involved. And crucially, what deeper insights maybe we can pull from it all.
Okay, let's dive in then. The story centers around a person, we're calling her Jab. She usually lives in Bangkok for her studies, right? But she comes back home to Lampang in Thailand for the holidays. And importantly, she's not staying with her parents. She's in a separate house, all alone. And, like a lot of us when we go home, she's missing her friends. So this particular day, Jeb decides to call her two close friends, Mai and Da. Invites them over, she settles in, watches some TV, just waiting for them. But then maybe an hour goes by, and she starts to feel like, something's off. Because usually it takes them 15, maybe 20 minutes tops to get there. That little shift, from just waiting to feeling uneasy. That's the first hook, isn't it?
Absolutely. That initial detail, the delay, it's not just plot. Psychologically, it immediately sets this subtle tone. Anticipation, yeah, but mixed with unease. It sort of primes Jeb and us listening that things might not go as planned. That feeling that something isn't quite right feeling, it's super effective. Builds tension before anything really weird even happens.
Yeah. And things do get weird fast. Jeb decides, okay, I'll call them. But her phone, battery's dead, so she plugs it in. And just as she does that, she hears a knock at the door. And here's where it gets really interesting. She opens the door, and there's Dak, standing there, completely soaked from the rain, shivering. But what hits Jeb right away is that Dai's alone. She asks, where's May? And Dad just says they didn't come together. Plan to meet at Jab's place. It's about 6 p.m. now. And Jade starts worrying. Why is Mai so late? The fact Dad's alone already, that's a little flag, right?
Yeah.
A deviation.
Indeed. And you really have to pay attention to the details here. Dak isn't just wet and shivering. She also says she has this really bad stomach ache. And she needs the bathroom. Immediately. These little things, they seem mundane, maybe just adding color at first, but as we go deeper, they become incredibly significant. Crucial, actually. They hint at this connection between the physical state and the spiritual side of things. It's not obvious yet, but it's there.
You're right. Those details really echo later on. So Da goes into the bathroom, and Jeeb's phone, it finally powers on, and it's just flooded. Missed calls, messages, all from Mai. Just as Jeeb's about to check them, Mai calls again. Right then, Jeeb answers. And it's Mai on the other end, just sobbing, frantic, asking why Jeeb didn't pick up. Jeeb's apologizing. My phone was off, sorry. And then Mai just drops this bombshell. She says, Jeeb, Da is dead.
Wow. And Jeeb's immediate reaction was laughter. Disbelief.
It's so profoundly human, isn't it? Especially when she literally just saw Day a moment ago, alive. Well, seemingly alive. It's that cognitive dissonance hitting hard. Two realities just smashing together in her mind. Her brain is just scrambling, trying to reconcile what she saw with this impossible news. It's like a defense mechanism, rejecting what it just can't process.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Jeeb's still laughing, kind of nervously, I imagine, telling Mai, don't joke like that. Day is here, she arrived earlier. But Mai is just crying, insisting, check line, Jeeb, check line. Day was hit by a car. Jeeb is just completely lost. Is this some horrible prank, or is this real? So she walks to the front of the house, looks outside, there's no motorbike, Dave's motorbike isn't, and she thinks, wait, Dave just walked in. No luggage, no bag, nothing, just peek walked in. Then she looks back inside the house, and she sees Dave walking around almost like she's looking for Jeeb. That absence of the bike, the lack of stuff, starts chipping away at the denial, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. What's really fascinating is that stark contrast. Her lived, undeniable experience seeing Da right there versus the devastating news from Mai, the missing bike, no belongings, Da's sort of aimless, restless movement inside. All of these physical observations start building this chilling realization for Jab. This is exactly where the evidence of Da's presence in the house clashes violently with the reality of her death outside the house. It forces Jab to confront this impossible situation, a physical manifestation coexisting with a confirmed death.
She's terrified, grabs only her phone, nothing else, and just runs to a nearby acquaintance's house. While she's there, waiting for Mai, she opens those line messages. And what she sees, that's a photo, horrific accident scene. Dev's family gathered around a body covered by a sheet, and that just confirms it. Mai's news was devastatingly real. The denial is just shattered. Soon, Mai arrives, and she's brought her young niece, Pim, with her. So they're downstairs watching TV, trying to process everything, I guess. And little Pim is just playing quietly with her doll. Then suddenly, Pim gets up, walks to the front of the house, still holding her doll, and she starts talking. Someone nobody else can see, just saying yes and okay, yes.
Right, and this brings up that really important question. You hear it across cultures, even in some parapsychological theories. Why do children often seem more receptive to these kinds of phenomena? So Mai asks Pim, who are you talking to, sweetie? Expecting, maybe an imaginary friend, Sister Rabbit or something. But Pim just calmly replies, Sister Daw. Such a classic element in these narratives, isn't it? The innocent, the unburdened, they perceive things adults might filter out and dismiss. It's almost like their perceptual filters aren't fully developed yet, letting them see what we miss.
That idea alone is just chilling. So Jabe and Mai, they immediately pull Pim onto their laps. Mai asks her, is it true, Pim? Is Sister Daw here? And Pim just confirms, yes. Then Pim says something even more startling. Sister Daw asked if she could come in, and when they asked Pim what she said back, she just innocently replies, yes, you can come in. And the second Pim finishes saying that, a door in the house, one that was just partially ajar, it swings wide open, on its own. Jabe and Mai are absolutely horrified. They scoop up Pim and just rush upstairs towards the parents' room, the innocence of the child giving permission, and then bam, immediate physical proof. It's a powerful moment.
It really is. If you connect that to the bigger picture, the door swinging open right after Pim gave permission, that serves as the definitive moment. It's undeniable. It moves beyond just hearing or seeing something. These you could maybe explain away to a physical manifestation, a spiritual presence being actively welcomed into the space, and the space physically responding. It gives tangible proof to Jabe and Mai, confirms this isn't just imagination. The spirit isn't just there. It is entered.
So they're rushing upstairs. Jeb's holding Pim, terrified, and asks, maybe rhetorically, maybe to Pim, why would Dave follow us? And this is where it gets truly, deeply unsettling. Pim turns her head to look right at Jeb. Her whole expression changes. And she speaks, but in a voice that Jabe says just isn't Pim's. And the voice says, because you abandoned me. Jeb describes Pim's face, her eyes in that instant, identical to how Dale looked when she was really angry. Jeb says she almost collapsed right there from the shock and the fear. That shift, the voice, the direct accusation, that's more than just a ghost being present.
Oh, that moment is absolutely critical for several reasons. First, it implies this direct transfer, emotion, even identity. It suggests Dave's spirit isn't just lingering, it's actively communicating, carrying these profound residual feelings. And that accusation, because you abandoned me, it hints at deep, unresolved emotional stuff, leftover business. This isn't just some passive presence, it's one with a message. Maybe even a sense of betrayal or grievance from that sudden traumatic death that left no time for goodbyes. It explains not just that Day is there, but why she might be interacting so powerfully, so emotionally. It shifts the whole thing from just scary to, well, deeply tragic and personal.
They finally reach the parents' room. The parents try to comfort them, saying, don't worry too much, trying to be calm. This brings us to the final night. Right before Daw's cremation ceremony, Job is asleep, but she's woken up by someone calling her name, softly, Job. She thinks it's Mai at first, but she looks around. Mai isn't in the room with her. So Job gets up, opens her door. She hears the calls again coming from downstairs. Near the TV area, Job. She starts heading for the stairs. The lights are dim. Just as she's about to put her foot on the first step down, a hand grabs her shoulder, hard. She jumps, turns around. It's Mai. Mai heard the calls too, and she warns Job, don't go down there. Yeah, the fact they both heard it, that's validation, right? It wasn't just a dream.
The shared experience, yes, that's absolutely crucial. It adds this undeniable layer of validation to everything. It's not just one person's perception anymore, which, could be dismissed. A dream, maybe, hallucination. Now it's a shared reality, which just intensifies the suspense, the terror for both of them. And at the same time, they hear sounds from downstairs, like footsteps, someone walking around, and a chair being dragged across the floor. It just solidifies that feeling of presence, something unseen but definitely there. This shared sensory input makes it all so much more compelling, harder to rationalize away.
Then, as they're standing there, frozen probably, in the shadows at the bottom of the staircase. A hand reaches out, it slowly beckons towards them, twice. Then it just pulls back into the darkness. That's it for them. Both Jab and Mai just run. Straight to the parents' room, wake everyone up, they turn on every single light in the house.
And the father's reaction here is really interesting and culturally significant too. Instead of just fear, he tries to manage the situation. He actually speaks out loud, directly addresses Da's spirit, tells her not to scare her friends anymore. And he says they will make merit for her. This is a very common cultural response, certainly in Thai Buddhism. It's an attempt to appease the spirit, maybe guide it through good deeds. Making merit, the Phomban, involves doing wholesome things like offering food to monks, charity, and dedicating that positive energy to the deceased, hoping to ease their transition, bring them peace. It shows this belief system that tries to understand and even help the spirit, not just fear it.
That's a really different way of approaching it than maybe we'd expect here. So the next morning comes, they go downstairs and they find a chair, pulled out from the dining table, just sitting there. And on the seat of the chair, there's a wet stain, like someone sat there while soaking wet. And even more, on the floor, all around the house, they see footprints, wet footprints. They're dry now, but they've left this dark residue, exactly like someone walked out of the bathroom, dripping wet, and didn't wipe their feet.
These physical traces, the chair, the wet stain, the footprints, they're possibly the most compelling pieces of evidence in the whole account. They suggest this continued, tangible interaction with the physical environment, leaving a discernible mark. This goes beyond just seeing or hearing something. It applies a force that could actually manipulate the physical world. For Jabe and Mai, these details would just reinforce that Da's spirit had a presence beyond just something they imagined or perceived mentally. It's the physical residue, the leftovers of a supernatural event, that often solidifies belief for people who experience it.
After that night, after seeing all that, Jab never went back to that house again. She decided to stay in Bangkok permanently. And of her time, apparently neither Jab nor Mai ever encountered Dave again. The presence just stopped. So, what does it all mean? The source material does finally reveal the tragic cause of Dave's death. On that exact day, the day she appeared at Jabe's house, she was riding her motorcycle to meet her friends. She crashed into the back of a parked truck. It was at a dark junction, and she died instantly. Ruptured organs.
And that final, heartbreaking piece of information. It connects directly back to Dado's initial arrival, doesn't it? Her complaining about a severe stomachache, being wet, shivering, it suddenly makes this chilling, awful sense. It really indicates her spirit might have been, in that moment, reliving or somehow manifesting the physical trauma of her death. You see this sometimes in these accounts. A sudden, violent death can leave such a powerful imprint, energetically maybe, that the spirit, in its initial confusion or trauma, sort of reenacts or carries the symptoms of how it died. It's a really poignant, tragic detail. It grounds all the supernatural stuff in a very real, very sad accident. Gives a deeper, more empathetic layer to the whole haunting.
This story, it really does offer a unique perspective, doesn't it? On that lingering presence some people believe spirits can have, especially after a sudden traumatic death. It's just a compelling narrative. Leaves you wondering about that thin veil between worlds and the strength of bonds, friendship, even beyond life itself. It's definitely not just a scary story. It feels like a testament to powerful, maybe unfinished human connection.
Indeed. This account, with all its specific details, the way the events progressed, it really encourages us to think about the different ways we interpret the unexplained. And it raises that big question, what exactly is a ghost? And how do our personal relationships, our unresolved emotions, whether we're living or deceased, how do they play a critical role in shaping these encounters? Maybe the haunting isn't always just about a place. Maybe it's about the profound, lingering impact of a life cut short, and the emotional resonance that somehow transcends physical existence.
A story like this really makes you think, doesn't it? Puts you right there. What would you do if you were in Jeeb's shoes? Something to ponder. Until next time on The Deep Dive, keep your mind open and keep that curiosity alive.